Again, glad you all brought your siddurim so that you can take notes in them, so it's more meaningful when you pray. It's amazing. Bracha. So a man went to Shemayim. He died, he went to heaven. And he was a nice frum Jew. And he davened 3 times a day. And he got there and they said to him, look, before you come in, Hashem just wants to say something to you. He's got a secret message just for you to help you get into heaven. So he's like, great! I deserve this, I was frum, I did everything right. So Hashem comes to the man and says to him, so the man says, I'm so sorry, Hashem, I don't understand what you're saying. Could you try again? And Hashem says, and the man says, look, I just died, I'm from earth, I don't know if I really fully understand what you're saying. You're speaking double speak, what is this? And Hashem says, and the man says, I'm sorry, Hashem, I don't know what you're saying. And Hashem says, well, that's how you spoke to me. That's one side of the story. The other side of the story is the Berditcher Rebbe, Rav Levi Yitzhak Berditchev, the Kedushas Levi. I was born on his yahrzeit. And someone once complained to him and he said, some of these Jews, when they pray, they're just babbling, they're just saying blah, blah, blah. They're just saying words. No, I don't think they mean it. I don't think Hashem really understands what they're saying. He said, well, watch this. And he brought over one of the guys there and he had his little baby with him, and 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old was like, blah, blah, blah. And no one understood what the 2-year-old meant or said, apart from the father. The father knows exactly. So you're going to have children one day, Bezrat Hashem. Nice Jewish children with your nice Jewish wife. Hashem. And your children are going to make noises and sounds that no one will understand, but you will, because you know your child very well. So Kedushas Levi says, you know what, even when a Jew is just mumbling a little bit, Hashem still understands him because Hashem is his father. However, you don't want to make Hashem have to struggle to understand you. So very, very important. We said that Tefillah, prayer, which is a bad translation, Tefillah is avodah shebalev, is the work of the heart. So if you're saying words but your heart isn't behind the words, then it's not creating the relationship that Tefillah is meant to create. It was my anniversary yesterday, 16 years. I've been married to the same woman. My longest ever relationship, that is. 16 years. So imagine I say all really nice things to her, but I don't mean them. Or I'm not really paying attention, I'm just saying them, because, this is what I'm meant to say. So we said, especially with the Shemona Esrei. The Shemona Esrei is not your words. I actually wrote her a really nice card. And I usually write her a poem. It's a cool poem. It's a nice card. This year's card was, you are holier, prettier, greater, sweeter, funkier, cooler, than you were when I married you 16 years ago. It was very cool. And I actually think she is, by the way. I really do. So that was cool. And I said, I'm looking forward to another 16 years together. Then we'll be 32 years. 32 is lev, heart. So fine. Whatever. It was a very cool card. And you know why she appreciated the cool card? Because she knew that I spent time and effort and thought, and it was an authentic expression. I didn't just buy some card in the shop that says, happy anniversary. And also I didn't know what to buy her this year because she's got enough creams and stuff and oil. She's into that stuff, and clothes, I always get it wrong. So I bought her a really, really big teddy bear. It was very cool. I never did that before. With a big heart, holding a heart, saying I love you. And it was great. It was the cheapest present I ever got her, but probably maybe the most appreciated. This big teddy and a lovely, beautiful card. So that's what's more important. So when we're saying the Shemona Esrei, imagine I just go up to my wife 3 times a day and I say to her words that someone else told me to say to her. And I don't really mean them. I'm just, in the morning I say a whole speech, and then in the afternoon I say a whole speech, and then at night I say a whole speech. So that's exactly what we're doing in the Shemona Esrei. We're basically just saying this thing that someone else told us to say 3 times a day. So we've got to learn how to do it with our heart. how to get your heart involved. Now we said that your neshama is involved because the people who wrote the Shemona Esrei, they were spiritually connected. So they basically brought down and wrote down for us what our neshama is saying. So you can't really say that they're not your words. They are your words. If you were connected to your neshama, if you were connected to your soul, these are the words you would naturally be saying. So we've got to say them over and over again to start making them part of our psyche. As we said before, we've got to try and say them with our eyes closed. Best, during Shemona Esrei, you've only got two options. Eyes closed or looking at the words. Both of them are holy. But I like the eyes closed option because it makes me feel like I'm saying the words from myself. Right? Once I'm reading words, then I'm reading someone else's words. Once my eyes are closed and I'm saying words, then they're my own words. So I make them my own words. Very important. So the Shemona Esrei is an amazing entranceway into building a relationship with Hashem, but not if you're just reading off the words. You've got to be feeling them. Not reeling them, feeling them. So we got to this. We got to the 16th bracha of the Shemona Esrei. If you just follow along in the siddur that you brought to take notes in, to make it more meaningful. Shema Koleinu. Listen to our voice. Shema Koleinu. Shema Koleinu. So why doesn't it say Shema Tefillah? Listen to our prayers. Why did it say Shema Koleinu? Because there's something deeper than prayer. It's just your voice. It's just your, even crying out, like, ow, ah. It's not, because prayer, in a way, especially formal prayer, can be very formal. But when it says Shema Koleinu, it's like, listen to what's underneath the prayer. Listen to my voice. My voice that's calling out to you. Shema Koleinu. Listen to our voices. So listen to my intention, really, my kavanah. Listen to my heart. Listen to the fact that I'm standing in front of you and speaking to you and I want the relationship. So in a relationship, it almost doesn't matter what you say, as long as you don't say bad things. By the way, in a relationship, it doesn't matter what you say, it's just the fact that you're saying. It's just the fact you're turning up. So however bad your kavanah is in your davening, if you're davening Shemona Esrei, you should still feel good about yourself because you turned up. You could have not davened Shemona Esrei, you could have missed mincha, but you didn't, you showed up, and that in itself is something. The fact that you're just there, investing in your relationship with Hashem, that means something to Hashem. So it's just saying, hear that, hear the primal scream. And sometimes we talk about the shofar a lot. The shofar is a prayer without words. Famous Baal Shem, the two famous Baal Shem stories, the Aleph Bet story. No? It was Yom Kippur and everyone was davening and it was the most holy day of the year and everyone was crying and screaming out, and then suddenly from the back of the shul they just hear Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Bab, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud. And so they were trying to concentrate and it just happened again. A few times, Aleph, Bet. So people started getting very annoyed. And they went up to this guy and he was very uneducated. He didn't know how to read. And he didn't know the prayers at all. And they said to him, what are you doing? You're distracting us. And he said, well, the truth is, I never learned how to read. And I don't know the prayers. But I do know the Aleph Bet. So what I'm doing is I'm just shouting out the letters of the Aleph Bet. And I'm saying to Hashem, please can you just take all those letters and turn it into the right prayers for me? And the Baal Shem Tov who was there said that's the highest prayer. Because he really meant that. He's calling out, yearning. The other one is with a flute. I think it was on Rosh Hashanah. There was a boy standing at the back of the shul playing his flute. And everyone was like, can't do that, it's also Rosh Hashanah. And then once again the Baal Shem Tov said, hold on, let's go and talk to him. He spoke to him, he said, I grew up as an orphan, my parents never taught me anything. And I'm a shepherd, and I have a flute, and I sit there playing, so my flute is my prayer, so this is all I've got. I'm just giving my prayer up to Hashem, and the Baal Shem Tov says that's the holiest prayer. Because Hashem would rather authenticity than saying things perfectly. This, by the way, is another reason why you should never compare yourself to other people. When they're praying, you just don't know. I told the story a couple of weeks ago. I had my worst Shemona Esrei ever. I was standing in Shemona Esrei, I couldn't concentrate. And I kept going back, I had to keep going back and then ask myself, hold on, did I even say that yet? And what's the halacha? Should I repeat it? And I was just all over the place, I just couldn't do it. And it was so I was in Shemona Esrei for a long time. Stepped out of Shemona Esrei, and one of my students, the Geshe program, came up to me and said, Rebbe, I am so inspired. I just saw you davening. I've never, like, so much kavanah. You davened longer than anyone else. Everyone else already left the shul, and you were still there in your Shemona Esrei. And I saw your face. You was like so much intention. I said to him, that was the worst Shemona Esrei of my life. I don't think I said one word properly. I wasn't even speaking to Hashem. By the end, I was just trying to get it out of the way. So you never look at anyone else. And Hashem doesn't look at anyone else. Hashem just wants you to be completely 100% authentic. It also means that you shouldn't try to be someone you're not. Don't pretend you're a tzaddik, because Hashem knows you're not a tzaddik. There's no point pretending you're a tzaddik. Hashem knows. Just be real with Hashem. Shema Koleinu Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem Elokeinu. I also want to just reiterate at this point. The most important words in the Siddur, in the Shemona Esrei, are Ata, whenever you say you to Hashem, and whenever we use Hashem's names. Shema Koleinu Hashem Elokeinu. At this point, when I'm davening, I stop and I take a breath and I'm like, I'm really speaking to you, Hashem. Shema Koleinu Hashem Elokeinu. Sometimes I take a deep breath and I have this sub-commentary going on in my mind whilst I'm davening Shemona Esrei, and I'm like, that means you, Hashem. Because we also have informal prayer, which we spoke about, which is just speak to Hashem all day. So the more you speak to Hashem all day, and the more Hashem becomes part of your everyday life, the more of a relationship you have with Hashem. So when you then step into Shemona Esrei, which is more of a formal type of prayer, you've already got this relationship. Because we said there are two relationships with Hashem. There's Father and King. My Father and my King. So you're Hashem's son, and you're also Hashem's subject. Servant. So you need to have a father-son relationship with Hashem that's very close, that's very meaningful and love and close. But then Shemona Esrei isn't a father-son relationship. Shemona Esrei is a king-subject relationship. You're coming as a poor person in front of the king. But if you also have the father-son relationship, then you can say to the king, by the way, I have your son, remember we played football together this morning? And like, yeah, I know. So it's actually quite, is having an authentic relationship with Hashem. I think I told this story before. My Rebbe says that you shouldn't really want so much. Ratzon, desire, is destroying your natural state of happiness. So the more you want, the less happy you'll be. Because what is Ratzon? What is desire? It means I feel lacking. And once I feel lacking, I then have a desire and I have to fulfill my lack. So he said the truth is, if you just get rid of wanting something, you'd be much happier. So if you're walking along and you see a new pair of shoes, like, I really want those shoes. That means you're not happy with what you have. You think those shoes are going to make you happy, but they're not. What will actually make you happy is not really wanting those shoes. Someone who doesn't want a new pair of shoes is happier than someone who wants a new pair of shoes, even if they get the new pair of shoes. Because the less you want, the happier you'll be. Although Ratzon is a very powerful force, you should want connection to Hashem, you should want to improve yourself, you should want to make the world a better place. There's lots of things that you should want, but in general, probably 90% of what you want, it's not helping you. It's not making you a happier person. Either you won't get it, or you'll get it and you still won't be happy, you'll just want more. So I once asked him a question. I said to him, look, I already have a daughter and a son, so I fulfilled the mitzvah of Pru-Ravu. You have a mitzvah to have children. The basic mitzvah is one boy and one girl. Once you had one boy and one girl, you fulfilled the mitzvah now. So, but it was 3 years later, and I'd been praying I wanted another child. And I spoke to him and I said, look, should I even want another child? I don't know Hashem wants me to have another child because I fulfilled the mitzvah already. So he said to me, you should just pray to receive your full portion. Don't pray for, you should have a much more general prayer. Don't be too specific in your prayer. Although Rebbe Nachman, by the way, says you should pray for everything all the time. If you lose a button, you should pray for the button. There's nothing too small to pray for. You should pray for everything all the time. However, even in that case, it's not because you necessarily want that thing so much. It's just you want the relationship with Hashem and you're turning to Hashem. So the prayer isn't necessarily to get what I want. Because I don't want what I want that much. The prayer is to give me a relationship with Hashem. So I said to my Rebbe, should I pray? And he goes, you should just pray to receive your full portion. So I said to him, יש חשש שאני לא מקבל את החלק השלם שלי? Is there a suspicion? Is there a possibility that I'm not going to receive my full portion? Surely if Hashem's portioned for me 5 children and this much money, I'll get my 5 children. And he said, no, you can mess it up. If you don't deserve to receive your full portion, you won't get your full. Hashem has those 5 children ready for you. But if you don't deserve them, you won't get them. Or Hashem has this much panasa, money ready for you, but if you don't deserve it, so you should just daven that you should deserve to receive your full portion. So I said, right, so I'm not going to daven for children anymore. And I've been davening for 3 years for another child. And once he said it, I said, I'm going to stop davening for a child. A month later, my wife got pregnant. It's like one of those stories, but it actually happened to me. Although, I have to be honest. What I did was, I said to Hashem, fine, look Hashem, I'm not praying for children anymore, because the Rebbe says I shouldn't pray for children, I should just pray for my chelek hashalem, and I trust you, but I just want you to know that I would like one. But I'm not going to pray for one. But, I'd like one. So it was a kind of cute, and Hashem's like, you're so cute. You can have one. Hashem loves me a lot. Hashem loves me. So Shema Koleinu, Hashem Elokeinu, is really Shema Koleinu. Just listen to what's really going on in my heart. You'll notice this is the final bracha of the middle brachas. We have 13 bakashot, 13 requests. 12 of them are very specific. Wisdom and health and returning to Israel and getting the Mashiach. 12 are specific. This is a completely general one saying, you know what, I'm just praying. Just listen to our prayers. Now, does Hashem ever not listen to our prayers? We believe Hashem always listens to our prayers. But it really means integrate, internalize, hear my prayer. Hashem Elokeinu, these 2 aspects of Hashem, Hashem beyond time and space, Chesed, Hashem within time and space, Mishpat, Chos v'rachem aleinu, have pity and compassion upon us. Does Hashem ever not have pity and compassion on us? Surely Hashem is always compassionate. Is Hashem always compassionate? So why are you asking Hashem to be compassionate? He is going to be compassionate. Why are you praying at all, by the way? Is Hashem going to give you everything? Does Hashem love you and going to give you everything you want and need because He loves you? So why are you praying at all? If you really have emunah, you should never pray. I have emunah. I'll get what I need. So why are you praying at all? Thank you. Bye. A few answers to the question. Firstly, we say that the prayer is opening up the channel. Of course Hashem wants to give you everything, but you asking for it is creating the relationship, because animals also get their food, but they don't ask for it. There's no relationship involved. Remember, the purpose of prayer is not to get stuff. That's not the purpose of prayer. The purpose of prayer is to create a relationship. So the relationship comes from admitting that Hashem is the source of everything and asking, saying, please can I have it? So I want to give my children stuff. And then they ask it. They ask, Abba, can I have some money? Now, obviously, sometimes I'll say no if I don't think it's good for them. So Hashem always listens to our prayers. Sometimes He says no if it's not good for you. The second answer, you're not going to like this, but no, Hashem isn't always working through Rachamim. There's something called Gevurah and Din as well. That we do have Din in the world. Mida keneged mida, you get what you deserve. So we're asking to be treated lifnim mishor sadim. Go above and beyond the letter of the law. Because really, you get what, in general, Hashem is just, correct? Hashem has justice. Do justice and compassion go hand in hand? No, they don't. You get what you deserve. So Hashem very often treats you as you deserve to get it, and that's just, because Hashem is a just God. But so we're saying, please go above and beyond that. Treat us with compassion. And that's what arouses the compassion. Please be compassionate with us. V'kabel barachamim u'b'ratzon tefillatenu, and receive our prayers with rachamim, which means even if I don't really deserve it, we don't deserve it, please, go above and beyond the letter of the word. It's not based on if I deserve it or not. Ki el shaymea tefilos v'tachanina mata, because you are a God who hears, and Kel is a name of Chesed. It's one of the 13 midas of Rachamim. Kel Rachum V'Chanun. Shema Tefillah, what's the difference between Tefillah and Tachanun? Basically, it's the same as we said before. Tefillah is more of a structured thing, and Tachanun is more of an emotional, crying out. Chonen, Tachanunun. Ki el Shema Tefillah Tachanun ata. Umilfanecha malkenu. Rekam al shivenu. And from before you, whenever I say the word milfanecha, it helps me tap back into the fact that I'm actually standing in front of Hashem. This is one of my favorite words in the whole Shema Esrei. Now, I told you before, I often breathe deeply within my Shema Esrei to tap me back into the consciousness that I'm standing in front of Hashem. In my place in Shul, it says, Da lifnei mi ata omed. Know, be consciously aware of who you are standing in front of. It's in my face, right there. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. So you need to be tapping in over and over and over again during your Shema Esrei to the fact that you are literally standing in the presence of Hashem. Right there, not Hashem far away, by the way, Hashem in front of you. So this is my favorite word. Umilfanecha malkeinu, I'm standing in front of you, King. So often I just say those words, Milfanecha malkeinu, a few times. I'm like, Milfanecha malkeinu. And I try to literally feel like I'm standing in the presence of the Melech Malchei HaMelechim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm standing in God's divine presence. Amazing. Reikim al Shivenu, please don't turn us away empty-handed. So on the basic thing is, please say yes to whatever I ask for. Whatever I ask for, please give it to us. But I think the purpose of prayer is relationship with Hashem. So please let me, even if I don't get what I asked for, still not be empty, because I'm not empty because I have the relationship with Hashem. You're not going to get everything you ask for. Yeah, and it is true that the more connected you are to Hashem, the less you ask for yourself, and you're just asking for other people. As we said, the whole Shema Esrei is really asking for Am Yisrael, not for personal needs. Oh, very quickly, although everyone agrees that if you do want to insert your personal requests, this is the bracha to do it in. Because this is the general... Just listen to our voice in general. And when it says listen to our voice, it doesn't mean just the voice of the tzaddikim, just our voice, just simple people. And also, if I had no kavanah in any of my Shema Esrei up until now, at least this one I'm going to have. Sometimes I just get distracted and I'm just saying the words and I realize, hold on, I'm really concentrated on what I'm saying. So I have in the past said the whole Shema Esrei without saying God's name at the end in Shema Koleinu. I just get them in. I'm like, this is my final effort, really. So I'm going to use it to integrate everything I said before. Ki ata, the word ata again. Shomer tefillah ancha Yisrael barachamim, because you listen to the prayers of your people Israel with rachamim baruch ata Hashem. Shomer tefillah. I say just say this means not only the Jewish people, by the way. Hashem listens to everyone's prayer. Hashem listens to prayer. Hashem wants people to speak to him. So this is actually the pinnacle of the whole Shema Esrei, most people say. We have the opening 3 brachas are just get in the right mindset. Who am I and who am I speaking to? The next 13 brachas next 12 brachas are specific requests. This is the pinnacle, which is just, hey, just make this be effective, what I've been doing right here now. And then we go, tomorrow we'll start doing the final 3 like warm down brachas. You got to warm up, cruise, warm down. That's your Shema Esrei. Hashem should hear it.